What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time you're clicking on this video, I am going to drop a link to the video that you've got to watch before you get this video, because this is part 2 of how to move through depression, depressive episodes, suicidal thoughts. It's extremely heavy stuff. So this is a huge trigger warning. Again, check out the first video first and then hop into this video whenever you're ready. Quick disclaimer guys, like I said in the first video, I am not a medical professional. I'm not a licensed therapist. I'm not even a counselor. I did not go to university. This is spiritual healing, okay? And it needs to be coupled with actual medical help, maybe a therapist, something like that. I had it all during my spiritual journey through a lot of these depressive episodes. So please take advantage of Western medicine, Eastern medicine, put it all together. Do whatever you need to do in order to keep yourself alive and to move through this work as easy as possible, okay? I love you. I love you. I love you. So let's hop right into this video because we got started in the first video. So relationship with self is the step 1 to moving through depression. Now, your depression will keep coming up. Your anxiety will keep coming up, okay? If you are not living the life you truly want to live. This is the video all about radical change, and this has been a huge part of my life. Honestly, if anything, I skipped to this part before I even went to relationship with self. Radical change was always my step 1 in order to relieve or release my anxiety, but it kept coming back up because I hadn't done step 1 yet. And my favorite piece of radical change is travel. Travel is my favorite way to radically change your life. More than just travel, because I will make loads of videos on travel in the spiritual journey. Today we're just talking about radical change, okay? Any radical change. This could be quitting your career. This could be moving somewhere. This could be getting into or getting out of a relationship that doesn't serve you anymore. This could be bringing up a relationship with your parents again, or getting out of a relationship with your parents. This could be cutting out friendships. This could be a million different things, okay? You build this relationship with self. Okay, great. Now what do we do? Let me be honest. If you try to go ahead and go back to your job or back to your partner that isn't working on themselves, or go back to your relationship with your parents that just does not connect at all, it's not making any sense, or whatever, that anxiety, that depression is going to come back up. And if anything, you're going to feel it a little bit deeper. Like, you're going to feel it pretty heavy when you have done so much personal work, when you've built this relationship with self. So the first thing to note after you've built a relationship with self is that things are going to change, but they're going to change for the better, especially because you're coming from a place of sadness, depression, possibly even anxiety. You're coming from a place of, I don't like my life. Well, just changing your life isn't going to do anything, because if you don't come from a relationship with self, how can you make the decision of what to do next? A lot of the time, people ask people with depression or anxiety, well, what do you need? I don't fucking know. How am I supposed to know? I don't know, because I don't have a relationship with self yet. When you come from that relationship with self, when you sit with yourself, then and only then can you start to make decisions on what you and self want for the next stage of your life. Let's say that you went to school. This is something that I hear a lot. Let's say you went to school, you got a job right out of school, you're in a great relationship, you've got a condo in the city, and you're really working your way through your career, okay? Let's say this relationship with self leads you to just not wanting that same career. Whether it's a different career, whether it's more learning, whether it's starting your own thing, whether it's drawing for a fucking living, whatever it is, you can't not listen to that. You have to listen to that. Maybe your career is just not it for you, okay? I'm not asking you to quit your job right away. Not at all. I'm asking you to start creating a way out. This could take a year, 2 years, this could take a month, 2 months, this could take a week, 2 weeks, doesn't matter. This is a plan to move yourself from A to B. Okay, you're going this way. We just want to shift it this way a little bit. And this could change everything. Like, this is going to be terrifying. What do you mean? How am I going to make money? I don't know. But you and self are going to be able to figure that out together, okay? Maybe you have no clue what you want to do. You have no idea, but you need a change of scenery in this place. And so you say to your boss or to your partner or to whatever, you let your lease run out, you sell all your things, and you move to Thailand for 6 months. And then when you get back, you can refocus and rethink everything. Here's something that you have to understand is that when you trust your relationship with self, it'll tell you what you need to do. It's not going to make sense to your family sometimes. Sometimes it will, which is awesome, but sometimes it won't. It might not even make sense to your partner. It might not feel responsible to do. Okay, this is my honest to God truth, but it's this or wanting to die. Does that make sense? Like, do you understand? You have a new lease on life. You have just saved yourself from taking your own life. Like I said, this video is going to be fucking heavy, and I don't sugarcoat it. There is no time to be fucking around saying, oh, but I'll just continue. No, you can't just continue anymore. You can't just live. You have to go do the thing that you need to do. If you haven't seen the world yet, you need to go see the world before you can decide whether you love your job or hate your job. Maybe you're in a really awesome career and it's hard. There's a lot of pressure, but it's like a really awesome career and you like went to school for it and all this shit, but you can't fucking handle it anymore. You don't know how you're gonna make money, but you just can't handle it anymore. There is no problem with taking a much easier job. Maybe go back to bartending, go back to serving, go back to anything. Office job, I don't care. Put money into its place. Put success into its place and put life and living at the top of the scale. That's what the angel of death does. When you know that life is short and that you've felt death, whether you've lost someone or you've gone through a state of depression or something like that where you didn't want to live, where your life almost came to an end, moving into your priorities into a different organization is going to happen naturally. And if you're fighting that, you have to let it go. The world is going to tell you that you need to be successful and have money in order to be happy. You need to have some money. Absolutely. You need to work. But after a certain point, you only need enough to do what you actually want to do. If this means you risk your savings, you risk your savings. If this means you don't have savings, you don't have savings. If this means you go into a slight amount of debt, I'm not a financial advisor, but that's what I did. Look, your mental health, your well-being, your love for life is more important than all of those things. It just is. And it is a lot more accessible than you think to do something radical. But you won't even look at it, first of all, until you have a relationship with self. And second of all, until you admit that you can't live like this anymore. When you've come from that place of surrender and you very much cannot live like this anymore, you are going to automatically want to focus on radical change. As we talked about last week, we were going into relationship with self. I just wanted you guys to think about that for a little minute. Now I want to actually really practice it, okay? So we're gonna go through a type of meditation that focuses on relationship with self. This meditation does not have to be sitting in a quiet place. This meditation can be anywhere all the time. You are always in a meditative state with self, but it's helpful to get started within a meditative state, if that makes sense. The goal of this meditation is not to meditate for 20 minutes a day and then go out and live your life without that same focus on self. I call it having coffee with yourself. So you know when you make coffee in the morning and maybe you have it with your partner, or maybe you have it while watching TV or reading the news, read yourself. Ask yourself how you're doing. Check in with yourself. Maybe you're speaking out loud to yourself and maybe you're answering back. Maybe you're walking down the street and just checking out the world and internally talking to yourself about, what you think other people are doing or what the trees are doing or where you want to go. You're having an internal dialogue with self. Maybe you're journaling it out, what you want to say to self. You're having an experience with self through having coffee with yourself. It's very simple. Your eyes don't even have to be closed. If you feel better having an actual meditative state, you can sit quietly in a quiet position and close your eyes and just talk to yourself. Just ask yourself how you're doing. Maybe you're just sitting there and breathing and just letting it come up, right? You've come from this experience, like we talked about in the last video, of finally admitting that you're sick and allowing your God self to take over. Well, okay, maybe you're not totally sick anymore. Maybe you're not taking care of yourself every single day, but you're checking in with yourself to maintain that level of health, of mental health, of spiritual health, and improving it over time. To get yourself out of a state of depression, whether it be a depressive episode or years of depression, you're going to need to actually wave the white flag, sit down and be sick and take care of yourself and nurse yourself back to health. But once you are healthy, you can't just let the relationship with self go. You have to sit with that relationship with self and you have to check in with yourself every single day. You would have a relationship with your partner in the same way. You would talk to your partner or to your mother or your father or your sister or your brother or whatever. You would talk to a best friend about what you want to do with your life, about changes you maybe want to make, about issues you're kind of having. I'm not loving my job. I'm not loving the food that I'm eating. I'm not loving that I'm not creating anything. I'm not loving the space that I'm living in. I'm not loving the art on the wall. I'm not loving anything. And you know what? That can be really hard to tell somebody because you can feel like you're kind of complaining. But to self, it's just brutal honesty. And you are so close with yourself that you can't say anything that is complaining or annoying or bratty. You're allowed to want all the things. You're allowed to ask for more. You won't necessarily get it right then and there, but you can take your time, find a way to receive it. Some people talk about this as manifestation, this whole process of asking for things and everything like that. They oftentimes skip relationship with self in moving through manifestation. I just call it relationship with self from a very dark place, usually, and then talking to yourself and creating a new life for yourself. That is the radical change. I worked online for 3 years and I put all of that to bed and I didn't know what to do yet, so I went through the self-love journey. I met myself again. I had a relationship with self, and then from there I got the simplest job I could ever get, made as much money as I could, saved it all up, and then you go. Then you travel. Then you go meet people, right? Go to Asia. Go see all the places that you might feel like you fit in, like you belong, like you have some form of soul family there. Because maybe your depression originally was coming from the fact that you don't feel at home with your family, if you even have one, that you don't feel at home in your relationship, if you have one, that you don't feel at home in your job, you don't feel appreciated, you don't feel like you're living life. What were you going after? Money? Was money the goal because it would bring you peace? Would money bring you happiness? What was the goal? Were you after success so that you would have a happy life? Did you at one point love your job and love your partner and love your family, but now it's shifting and it's changing? It's okay. That's okay. It feels not okay, but you know why it's okay? Because you have a relationship with self. And you guys together get to decide what you want next. And you have to be radical with it. It has to be crazy. And you know why it has to be crazy? Because if it wasn't, you would have already done it. you would have just made the change and you wouldn't have gone through the depression. You would have inherently listened to yourself and said, yeah, I can't do this job anymore. I can't be in this relationship anymore. I can't be in this place anymore. I can't be focused on my body so much anymore. You would have just made the change, but you didn't. And it's not your fault that you didn't. You needed relationship with self first. And now the world is your fucking oyster. You get a new lease on life. You were this close to passing away and you didn't. Go celebrate. Go explore the world. Go explore people and different jobs and different things. Open up your brain to all that is possible. Because literally anything is possible. And you might not feel that way yet. So start small. But as you travel, as you shift your relationships, as you meet new people, your brain is going to open up so much because your human self is going to be experiencing new ways of perception, new ways of life. That's a beautiful thing. I didn't just wake up one day and think like this. I traveled for years and I had so many little blocks and limiting beliefs. And slowly over time, they started to release because I saw life being done differently. I saw people that prioritized living over money. I thought you had to have money in order to live. Nope. You have to do very simple steps. And I'm not saying this is this isn't going to work for everybody. Maybe you need to stay in your relationship. Maybe you need to work on your relationship. Maybe you need to get closer with your parents. Maybe you need to put more energy into your job. But it needs to be radical change in some area of your life. Because your God self was tapping you on the shoulder for a reason. You weren't checking in with yourself. Well, now that you are, what is it saying? What was going wrong before? What was causing you so much discomfort? And be brave in saying what you want. Take your time, because you've never probably said what you want before. Be calm, be patient. It might not come up right away. But over time, the more you check in with yourself, the more brutally honest you can be with yourself. I don't love my partner. Oh fuck. Oh my God. I don't love the job that I spent $100,000 on in school. Oh God, what am I gonna do? I don't agree with my parents' views. Oh fuck. And make changes accordingly. Make radical change in your life. And it starts with keeping that relationship with self. So that's your homework, is continuing that relationship with self. I can't wait to hear about all of your guys' radical change. This is not going to happen overnight, but make that move, make that shift in your life. You need to enjoy your life. Okay? I love you guys.